a Bagel Plays Productions.
Welcome. I am Archivist Bagel, and this is Hedron Ecologies. This season, we will be focusing on one region of the continent of Dwin, the Bleeding Desert. The Bleeding Desert is a dangerous and magically saturated expanse. It is characterized by, well, being a massive desert. It is bordered by the Black Mounts, and about half of the Bleeding Desert is made up of a large, sprawling salt flat. Notable for its bright red coloration due to a richness of iron content. This episode, we will be covering one of the cornerstone species of the Bleeding Desert. A flora known by the name of prickle globes. Now, prickle globes are nasty little things, with some of their more colloquial names by the local peoples of the region being vampire tumble cactus, rolling bleeders, or simply prickle globe cactus. As you can guess from the names, prickle globes are a ball-like cactus that rolls around attracted to moisture and living beings with blood or a circulatory equivalent. They roll into these creatures to pierce them with their long, sharp spines. Once they cause bleeding, grooves along the spines and skin of the prickle globe draw the blood along them and deposit it within the root core for consumption. When they get large enough, about a foot in diameter, excluding the spines of course, the larger spines will swell and grow into bulbs that bloom into small flowers. When these bulbs bloom, they fall off the cactus, shedding its outer layers and becoming new prickle globes. Once reaching maturity, prickle globes continue to grow and produce new prickle globes yearly. The largest recorded prickle globe was 3 feet in diameter. Now, prickle globes generally move in groups. They do not have a sentience as we sentient folk would interpret. They more sense moisture and just kind of vaguely roll in that direction. This can result in them being separated, or, as it's more commonly known, or observed, the prickle globes will generally move along what is colloquially known as the prickle paths. Sort of a grand migration derived from the seasons. It starts in the northwest of the desert, where the prickle globes explode in population due to the winter water that sheds from the Black Mounts. Then, starting in the spring, the prickle globes slowly disperse, moving generally southeast, following the moisture as it trickles down. I need water. Yes, thank you. Eventually converging in the salt flats, before they finish drying up at the end of the summer. Then they disperse once more, moving back northwest in the fall to meet the winter waters, where the cycle begins anew. Prickle globe flesh is very poisonous. When something consumes it, the poison within causes the consumer to bleed from every orifice. Dreadful, very dreadful. Which, inevitably, attracts and feeds other prickle globes. Now, any creature that dies from the poison is tainted, unfortunately, as consuming its flesh will induce the same effect of the prickle globe poison upon consumption. It's generally a good idea of, if you see something dead in the desert having bled from every orifice, don't eat it. Now, that being said, once prepared correctly, prickle globes have a very delectable, crunchy, gelatinous texture and taste earthy sweet, and very spicy. They do pair wonderfully with anything that benefits from spice, whether it be a wonderful steak, or perhaps a red wine, maybe some brandy. Oh, yes. Now that we've talked about the flesh or the edible components of the prickle globe, we'll cover actually the toxin, the poison itself. Now, prickle globe poison can be extracted from the flesh, but it is extremely difficult to do so. But when done successfully, it becomes a viscous, positively toxic, flammable oil. The refining process, yes, is long and arduous. Poison. So, yes, don't use it, and don't seek it out. Maybe I shouldn't have talked about it. No, that is not my responsibility to decide who gets access to this information. I do not control that. That is someone else's job. I don't need to worry about it. That's the Archivist Morales' position. That's why they exist. Yes, I don't need to feel bad about anything. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Now, the prickle globe is a keystone species of the Bleeding Desert, as it is one of the primary food sources for some of the most prevalent other species within the desert. Including, but not limited to, glass oozes, fever bears, and most popularly known and their most extensive predator, for lack of a better term, thorn bats. Now, outside of the Bleeding Desert, the prickle globes do not fare great, as they easily get stuck in normal dirt, and they generally have a hard time flowering, even with an excess of water, when not in the environmental conditions of the desert. It is what other archivists have coined as an endemic species. It is found only in this desert and doesn't really fare well pretty much anywhere else. But that is all the time we have for this session. Next session, or next episode, we will be covering thorn bats. Look forward to it. And this is Grand Archivist... Fuck, is that my position? Am I losing my mind? Get me some more prickle honey. Thorn honey. This is Archivist Bagel signing out. See you next time. Ha! What? No, I don't need to take... No, I don't need that. I don't need my medicine. It's bad. I don't like it. You'll never take me along!
This has been Hedron Ecologies. Thank you for watching, and join us next time for episode 2. Have a good one. Cheerio. Why am I British now? I don't know. Bye-bye.